Well, I'd certainly like to see a reduction in exclusion, but that's easier said than done because, as I mentioned previously, the school system really does incentivise removing young people who are particularly difficult to manage. And the fact that you're using the word difficult to manage suggests that schools are now run like businesses and young people are genuinely commodified. They are treated like products on a factory floor, and schools are supposed to be able to churn out the same amount of young people with the same amount of high grades, regardless of the intake of the school, which is particularly damaging for young people who are from disadvantaged backgrounds and don't have the best start in life. One of the things that some other countries do, which is quite interesting, is they don't have standardised assessments. They don't have a results agenda. So if you look at some of the countries in Asia, for example, Eastern Europe, Scandinavia, and you speak to teachers out there and you ask them about what we have here, which is a sort of naming and shaming results table for schools who are placed literally in rank order, regardless of the context of that school, regardless of the demographics of the young people who attend that school, they're genuinely quite baffled by it. And teachers have said things like, we would never shame schools, we would never name schools based on their academic results because that's extremely damaging both for the teachers' well-being and it leads to awful perverse incentives for schools to behave in really quite discriminatory ways towards vulnerable young people. So what certainly needs to change, to my mind, in the first instance, is the total reliance and obsession with academic results, which are utterly discriminatory towards young people who aren't academic. And one of the things that's come very strongly out of the Breaking the Silence project, speaking to young people, is that they completely agree with that. And we weren't sure what would happen when we asked them, for example, about the impact of Ofsted. But they were extremely clear that standardised assessment is genuinely toxic and it literally shames young people who are not academic. And schools are very much tied into the system. It's very difficult for them to behave in a way that really enhances and includes young people with really specific needs within the current framework. So if I was to suggest one thing that would change first, and obviously I have many other steps which I think need to happen to fully revolutionise the system, I think that would be the first step in the right direction. Because as I've identified, standardised assessments really do lead to school behaving in a way towards vulnerable people that is really inappropriate and heavily criticised by the OECD and other countries who have much better succeeding education systems